Newzroom is not happy with a proposal by the Department of Public Service and Administration over a possible mandatory COVID-19 vaccine for their staff. On Wednesday, the department sent out a circular saying it was considering making vaccinations mandatory for all workers in the public service. December Mavuso, the Deputy General Secretary of Newzroom, and Moses Mushi, DPSA Communications Director, join me now. Mr. Mavuso is not able to join us, I beg your pardon, but we are joined by Mr. Mushi. Thank you very much, sir, for your time this afternoon. Perhaps some of the considerations in even, making this kind of announcement, this consideration to make vaccinations mandatory for public servants.
Afternoon, Dudu, and afternoon to the viewers. Dudu, I think we should just explain and give a little bit of background to the matter. The department issued a circular to heads of departments because we are part of the network discussions where matters such as the vaccinations are discussed. As such, we issued a circular to heads of departments to indicate to them that such discussions are underway, and then also to encourage them that in their departments they should continue with the vaccine education and to communicate the vaccination program to staff members so that we can increase intake. So the circular was not intended to be a media statement or an announcement. It was a communique to heads of departments, and it is just unfortunate that how picked up on the circular and then concluded on the matter. One of the issues they are raising is that we have not tabled this matter at the bargaining council. And then, yes, it is proper. We have not tabled it because discussions are still underway. Should the discussions lead to a process that requires that we table the matter at the bargaining council, such shall take place. So I think it is just that background that we need to give before the matter just gets
Sure. That clarity, Mr. Mushi. So consultations still well underway. Perhaps if you can let us in on the temperature of these discussions, right? So what is it that these heads of department are reporting back in terms of the conversations that they're having with public servants?
Yes, as I indicated, discussions at NETLEC, issues of vaccinations are discussed broadly. And one of the concerns that is raised is the intake. And then we know that as a country, we are experiencing vaccine hesitancy. And as it arises in NETLEC, that is what then necessitated that we communicate to the heads of departments to encourage them to increase the vaccine education. And hence I'm saying that should discussions lead to a mandatory situation, we would then move on to the bargaining council.
What would need to be considered to make vaccinations for public servants mandatory?
Well, one of the main thing actually is the low intake. And then as I indicated, that it's something that is being experienced countrywide. So should the discussions lead in that direction that the vaccine education has been undertaken and then still we are experiencing a low intake, that will be the outcome of the discussions that, we are in a situation where we have no other option but to make vaccination mandatory. But I take it that will be the last resort. And at this moment, we are not talking about mandatory. In our statement, in our circular, there's nowhere where we mention that we will make vaccination mandatory. And it is actually a bit unfortunate that NHAU has taken this matter and chose to make it a public debate because we were not communicating to NHAU or to the public. We were communicating to heads of department as part of our internal process to increase the vaccine education so that we know that we have been hit hard by fake news in WhatsApp, where perceptions have been formed and hardened, and we need to up our game when it comes to vaccine education. So the intention was really on that one, that we need to increase vaccination intake.
Right. Thank you very much for that clarity. Unfortunately, Mr. December Mavuso, NHAU Deputy General Secretary, had confirmed to take part in this discussion, but we are since unable to get hold of him. Moses Mushi is the Department of Public Service and Administration's Communications Director. Thank you.